Your name appeared after almost half a year. I nearly let it fade, then answered through the fear. You asked about my new place, the boxes by the wall. I said I had been busy, you didn't buy it at all. So I told you about the mornings when getting up felt hard. You listened without feeling every silence with advice. Then somewhere in the talking, I laughed the way I used to do. You waited for the sound to settle, then softly told me this: you sound like yourself again, not who the hard days made you. There's something in your voice I thought the world had taken. You sound like yourself again, a little tired but warm. I didn't know I'd miss that person until you brought him home. We spoke about our old street, the store that changed its name, the summer we got stranded and walked home in the haze. Nothing in that story could fix the months behind, but for a while remembering made breathing feel less tight. You sound like yourself again, not who the hard days made you. There's something in your voice I always knew would make it through. You sound like yourself again, still healing but still warm. I didn't know I'd miss that person until you brought him home. A sudden change, a perfect day, a door thrown open wide. But maybe it begins this small, with someone who can hear the part of you that stayed alive when you could not feel it there. You sound like yourself again, that's what you said to me. And for the first time in a while, I almost could agree. I sound like myself again, not finished, only free to take another quiet step toward who I wanna be. You sound like yourself again, your words stayed after we were done, a sentence I could carry into the days to come. We said we'd call much sooner, and neither made a plan. I set the phone beside me and heard myself again.
You cleared your desk on Friday and carried out one box, a plant, a silver picture frame, a sweater you had lost. We stood beside the elevator, unsure of what to say. And just before the doors arrived, tired, you looked at me and said, you made the difficult days a little easier to bear. The doors opened between us, and you were gone from there. What you said stayed with me long after you had gone. A simple line beneath the noise, I quietly held on. What you said stayed with me when I questioned what I gave. I never knew the smallest kindness could be something someone saved. On Monday at the meeting, your chair was put away. The room returned to schedules like nothing there had changed. A new name filled your inbox, a new code took your space. But every time the pressure rose, I heard that final phrase. What you said stayed with me long after you had gone. A simple line beneath the noise, I quietly held on. What you said stayed with me and changed the way I knew the ordinary things I offered had been reaching someone too. Useful meant doing something grand, having every answer or a perfect helping hand. But maybe it is noticing when someone needs a pause, or leaving room beside you without asking for a cause. What you said stayed with me, so now I pass it on. I tell the ones beside me when their quiet care feels strong. What you said stayed with me and taught me what words can do. A sentence given honestly can help somebody through. What you said stayed with me, though you may never know. You left with only one small box and gave me something more. The elevator closes, another Friday leaves, but what you said so simply still stays with me.
I parked across the street and stayed behind the wheel. The house looked almost smaller than the one that I remembered. 3 months without a call had made the distance grow. I nearly turned the engine on, then saw the hallway glow. I found a little silver key still hidden in my car. I walked up to the side door, not knowing where we were. The spare key still turned, the door still knew my hand. Nothing had been spoken, nothing had been planned. The spare key still turned, and there you were inside. You looked up from the table and quietly said hi. 2 bowls were on the counter, though you said you always cooked too much, the way you'd always done. I took my usual chair, you moved the bread my way. We talked about the weather and the neighbor's broken gate. The spare key still turned after all I left unsaid. The room had kept a place for me beside the table's edge. The spare key still turned, no questions at the start. You let the ordinary things make room around my heart. I finally said I'm sorry, I stayed away this long. You folded both your hands and said we both held on too strong. No one won the silence, no one needed to. You reached across the table and filled my bowl with soup. The spare key still turned, but something else had changed. We didn't fix the missing months, we only spoke their names. The spare key still turned, and I don't need it now. Next time I'll ring the front bell and you will let me in. The spare key still turned like home, and always learned to leave a little way back for the ones who still return. I washed the bowls beside you before I left that night. The key stayed on the counter and the hallway stayed alive. It's 7:35. I save the final page. Another message landed as I was leaving for the day. My hand was on the mouse, the old reply was there. I'll handle it before I go, like I had always said. Then I looked around the office at the rows of empty chairs, closed the message without answering, and stood up from there. I left before the lights went out and nothing fell apart. The building kept on standing without the extra hour. I left before the lights went out, with work still on my mind. But every step beyond the doors gave something back to me. I called my older sister while walking toward the train. She said, I thought you disappeared, then laughed and said my name. We spoke about her garden, the shoes she planned to buy. By the time we said goodbye, the air felt open and alive. I left before the lights went out and nothing fell apart. The messages kept waiting, they never chased me home. I left before the lights went out. The evening still was mine. I bought the bread I always missed and
before the lights went out and watched the sky turn deep. I reached my room with enough of me to cook, to call, to breathe. I left before the lights went out. Tomorrow still will come, but work can wait inside those walls. My working hours are done. I left before the lights went out. No victory, no doubt, just one ordinary evening. I finally walked out. The next train came slowly. I didn't mind the wait. The office lights were somewhere else, and I was on my way.
I opened the old keyboard case, looking for a cable. A folded sheet of paper was waiting underneath. Your handwriting filled the margins, my chords were down the side. The final verse was empty, like we had run out of time. I played the first progression, my hands still knew the way. Then heard your younger voice inside the words we used to say. We never finished that song, we left the last page bare. A melody without an ending, still waiting for us there. We never finished that song, but it never disappeared. All the years we didn't speak were resting in my ear. We thought we needed answers before we turned 25. You wanted somewhere quieter, I wanted a different life. No argument divided us, no promise came undone. We simply stopped rehearsing and slowly stopped showing up. We never finished that song, we left the last page bare. A melody without an ending, still waiting for us there. We never finished that song, and maybe that was kind. It kept one door from closing in a distant part of time. I took a photograph and sent it without a speech. Just the page, the faded pencil, and the line we couldn't reach. And now we're past in silence, then your answer filled the screen. I remember every chorus. Do you still have the key? We never finished that song, but now we know where to start. Not where we left the music, but where we are in our hearts. We never finished that song, we don't need to make it new. Leave the cracks inside the verses, let the years come singing through. We never finished that song, maybe someday we still might. You wrote, keep the final page open. I left it there that night. I played the first progression, then added one new chord. The ending wasn't ready, but it wasn't lost anymore.
My first December in the city, I knew 3 streets by name. The people at the office still pronounce mine the wrong way. You asked about my weekend, I said I'll probably rest. You heard the empty answer hiding underneath my breath. You made room for me at a table full of names I had never heard before, and stories I could barely follow. You made room for me, put another plate beside you. I arrived there as a stranger, but I didn't leave that way. Your father burned the carrots, your sister talked too fast. Someone found an old guitar with only 5 strings left. No one asked me for a reason why I had nowhere else to go. You simply passed the bread and let the evening take me in. I thought belonging happened after years of being known. You showed me it could start with someone moving one chair over. You made room for me at a table full of laughter. I was quiet at the beginning, then forgot to watch the time. You made room for me, put another plate beside you. I arrived there feeling distant, but I left a little lighter. Now another winter evening, a new face stands alone, holding tightly to a paper cup and looking at the door. I recognize the silence, I remember what you did. So I move my coat beside me and ask them where they've been. You made room for me, now I'm passing on the kindness. There is always space for someone when we choose to let them in. You made room for me, more than you could ever know. One chair became a welcome.
Your hands were taking longer with the night beneath your chin. We stood inside the bedroom before my sister's wedding. You faced the narrow mirror and tried the tie again. You laughed and blamed the fabric, said the silk was far too thin. But I could see your fingers didn't move the way they did. I remembered every morning stood behind me there, making small adjustments before I left the house. So I stepped a little closer and reached toward the line. You started to refuse me, then I said it with a smile. Let me tie it this time. You have done it all my life. You taught these hands their patience. You showed these feet their stride. Let me tie it this time. There is nothing you must hide. You once made me ready for the world. Let me stand here by your side. You lifted up your collar and finally let me try. I crossed the ends together the way you taught me twice. You told me not too tightly, then corrected my first fault. For just a little moment, we were younger than we looked. Let me tie it this time. You have done it all my life. You taught me how to carry what I could not hold inside. Let me tie it this time. We don't need to call it change. Oh, you once made me ready for the world. Now let me do the same. In the mirror stood two people, learning how to trade their place. Not a child and not an old man, just two lives inside one frame. You looked down at the knot, then placed your hand on mine and said, your sister's waiting. But your eyes stayed there a while. Let me tie it this time. It sits better when you breathe. You don't have to be the steady one every moment that we meet. Let me tie it this time. You can lean a little light. You once made me ready for the world. I will help you face this night. Let me tie it this time. Then we'll walk out side by side. No one has to lose their place, for love to change its shape with time. I folded down your collar, you straightened mine once more. Then we left the room together, like we had years before.
Message came at noon. I read it standing still. They offered me the position on the floor above the hill. My hands began to tremble. I nearly called you then, but something made me close the screen and read the words again. I answered all the questions, smiled through the afternoon, but kept one little happiness unopened just for you. I saved the news for you. collar folded wrong. You started telling me about the train that took too long. I tried to let you finish, but laughter gave me away. You stopped beside the kitchen chair and asked what happened today. I saved the good news for you. I wanted you to see the moment all the waiting finally loosened inside me. I saved the good news for you and held it through the day, because the way you say I knew it means more than public praise. You didn't make a speech, you pulled me close instead, then opened up the cupboard and found 2 glasses there. We raised them full of water because that was all we had. You said to every morning you kept going when it hurt. I saved the good news for you. Now it's shining in the room, not because the words were perfect, but because I told them to you. I saved the good news for you, and you gave it back as pride. Some joy becomes much larger when it has a place to land. I saved the good news for you through every crowded hour. Now tomorrow feels less distant and the future feels like ours. 2 glasses on the counter, a message on my phone. I saved the good news for you, and you made it feel like home.
Found a recipe inside the moving box, written on the paper from the store around the block. You never used a measure, just some of this and wait. I stood inside my new kitchen trying to translate. The onions browned too quickly, I added too much salt. But when the room grew warmer, the distance felt less far. It almost tasted like home, not exactly, but enough. A little more uncertain, a little less like us. It almost tasted like home in this unfamiliar room. For one slow Sunday evening, I was back there next to you. I sent you one small picture with the pot still on the stove. You answered, looks impressive, then asked, did you cook it low? I knew that meant I hadn't, so I turned the burner down. You called and talked me through it while I moved the spoon around. It almost tasted like home, not exactly, but enough. The flavor needed patience, the way you said it would. It almost tasted like home, and your voice filled up the room. For one slow Sunday evening, I was cooking next to you. but you changed. Don't try to make mine twice. A recipe should travel and become another life. So underneath your handwriting, I added one new line. Use less salt than last time, and call home while it simmers. It almost tasted like home, but now I understand. Home was never just the flavor, it was learning from your hands. It almost tasted like home, then slowly became mine. Your words remained above it, with my notes beneath each line. It almost tasted like home. I ate beside the phone, and in this unfamiliar room, I didn't feel alone. I folded up the paper and placed it by the stove. Next Sunday I will try again and make a little home.
I wore the dress you liked. You borrowed someone's car. We booked the highest table at a place across the park. Then traffic stopped completely. The clock moved past our name. You called to tell the restaurant we wouldn't make the time. I thought the night was ruined. You looked at me and laughed, then pointed to a corner store and said we still have plans. It turned out better than we planned. Paper cups inside our hands, sitting on the building steps with nowhere else to be. It turned out better than we planned. No perfect room or candlelight, just you dividing one small meal and giving more to me. We watched the borrowed car collect the dust beneath the sign. You found a plastic fork and broke it neatly into two. The wind kept moving napkins, I held them with my shoe. You raised your cup and said to plans that don't come true. It turned out better than we planned. Paper cups inside our hands. The whole evening opened up when we stopped chasing it. It turned out better than we planned. No one waiting for our seats, just you remembering the day we first decided this was love. I had wanted something flawless so the memory would stay, but every perfect detail was the first thing swept away. What I know I will remember is your jacket on my knees, and how you made a celebration from whatever we could keep. It turned out better than we planned. Nothing happened as it should. Still I would choose those concrete steps over any polished room. It turned out better than we planned. You took the ruined parts and placed them in a different light until they felt like ours. It turned out better than we planned, not because the night was grand, but every time the plan fell through, you reached and took my hand. The restaurant was closing as we finally drove away.
You sat beside me, still wearing your work clothes. So give me just a minute, there's something you should know. You started with the meeting and someone changing plans, and stopped between two details with your cheek against my hand. The television flickered, the room became a shade. I waited for the next word, then heard your breathing change. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I let the ending wait. Whatever felt so urgent could meet us with the day. You fell asleep mid-sentence, still holding half my hand. I pulled the blanket over you and tried to understand. Your phone lit up beside us, I turned the screen away. The world could keep on asking, but you had done enough today. I moved the cup from near you and loosened both your shoes. The little things you always did were mine to do for you. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I let the ending wait. Whatever needed fixing could meet us with the day. You fell asleep mid-sentence, your voice became a sigh. I pulled the blanket over you and lowered every light. Maybe you were gonna tell me that the day had been too much. Maybe there was nothing deeper, you were simply giving up. Not on us and not tomorrow, only on staying awake. So I kept the room around you quiet enough to feel safe. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I never heard the end. But love is sometimes listening to words that aren't being said. You fell asleep mid-sentence, still holding half my hand. You didn't have to finish for me to understand. You fell asleep mid-sentence, tomorrow you can start. Tonight I'll keep the silence and let it hold your heart. The room stayed softly breathing, your hand remained in mine. The sentence could stay open, we had another night. It slipped from an old album and landed by my feet. A summer afternoon from almost 10 years back. Everyone was laughing, I was standing near the edge. I remembered how I hated the way I looked that day. So I kept the picture hidden and turned the page away. But now I saw my mother's hand resting on my shoulder, and the friend I haven't spoken to leaning in much closer. I put the picture back, I let that younger face be seen. She was never asking to be perfect, she was only 17. I put the picture back and looked beyond the things I lacked. There was
My dress was slightly wrinkled, my hair moved in the wind. I had been trying not to smile, but joy was getting in. Behind us someone dropped a plate. We all began to laugh. The moment wasn't beautiful because of how I looked. I put the picture back, I let that younger face be seen. She was trying to be worthy of a love she already had. I put the picture back and stopped correcting every flaw. There was so much life inside it I had never seen before. I could have told her, you don't need to disappear. One day you will miss the person you keep criticizing here. I cannot change that summer or give her kinder eyes, but I can hold the memory without putting her aside. Put the picture back inside the frame beside my bed, not to mourn the years behind me, but to welcome who I was. I put the picture back and something in me settled down. I had spent so long rejecting someone worthy all along. I put the picture back, no longer hidden, no longer turned. I gave my younger self a place and felt the whole room warm. The album closed gently, the frame stayed where it stood. I looked at her once longer and finally called her good. No need to change the moment, no need to take it back. I turned the smaller light off and left the picture there.
Your name appeared after almost half a year. I nearly let it fade, then answered through the fear. You asked about my new place, the boxes by the wall. I said I had been busy, you didn't buy it at all. So I told you about the mornings when getting up felt hard. You listened without filling every silence with advice. Then somewhere in the talking, I laughed the way I used to do. You waited for the sound to settle, then softly told me this: you sound like yourself again, not who the hard days made you. There's something in your voice I thought the world had taken. You sound like yourself again, a little tired but warm. I didn't know I'd miss that person until you brought him home. We spoke about our old street, the store that changed its name, The summer we got stranded and walked home in the haze. Nothing in that story could fix the months behind, but for a while remembering made breathing feel less tight. You sound like yourself again, not who the hard days made you. There's something in your voice I always knew would make it through. You sound like yourself again, still healing but still warm. I didn't know I'd miss that person until you brought him home. A perfect day, a door thrown open wide. But maybe it begins this small, with someone who can hear the part of you that stayed alive when you could not feel it there. You sound like yourself again, that's what you said to me. And for the first time in a while, I almost could agree. I sound like myself again, not finished, only free to take another quiet step toward who I wanna be. You sound like yourself again, your words stayed after we were done, a sentence I could carry into the days to come. We said we'd call much sooner, and neither made a plan. I set the phone beside me and heard myself again.
Cleared your desk on Friday and carried out one box, a plant, a silver picture frame, a sweater you had lost. We stood beside the elevator, unsure of what to say. And just before the doors arrived, you looked at me and said, you made the difficult days a little easier to bear. The doors opened between us, and you were gone from there. What you said stayed with me long after you had gone. A simple line beneath the noise, I quietly held on. What you said stayed with me when I questioned what I gave. I never knew the smallest kindness could be something someone saved. On Monday at the meeting, your chair was put away. The room returned to schedules like nothing there had changed. A new name filled your inbox, a new code took your space. But every time the pressure rose, I heard that final phrase. What you said stayed with me long after you had gone. A simple line beneath the noise, I quietly held on. What you said stayed with me and changed the way I knew the ordinary things I offered had been reaching someone too. asking for a cause. What you said stayed with me, so now I pass it on. I tell the ones beside me when their quiet care feels strong. What you said stayed with me and taught me what words can do. A sentence given honestly can help somebody through. What you said stayed with me, though you may never know. You left with only one small box and gave me something more. The elevator closes, another Friday leaves, but what you said so simply still stays with me.
I parked across the street and stayed behind the wheel. The house looked almost smaller than the one that I remembered. 3 months without a call had made the distance grow. I nearly turned the engine on, then saw the hallway glow. I found a little silver key still hidden in my car. I walked up to the side door, not knowing where we were. The spare key still turned, the door still knew my hand. Nothing had been spoken, nothing had been planned. The spare key still turned, and there you were inside. You looked up from the table and quietly said hi. 2 bowls were on the counter, though you expected only one. You said you always cooked too much, the way you'd always done. I took my usual chair, you moved the bread my way. We talked about the weather and the neighbor's broken gate. The spare key still turned after all I left unsaid. The room had kept a place for me beside the table's edge. The spare key still turned, no questions at the start. You let the ordinary things make room around my heart. I finally said I'm sorry, I stayed away this long. You folded both your hands and said we both held on too strong. No one won the silence, no one needed to. You reached across the table and filled my bowl with soup. The spare key still turned, but something else had changed. We didn't fix the missing months, we only spoke their names. The spare key still turned, and I don't need it now. Next time I'll ring the front bell and you will let me in. The spare key still turned like home had always learned to leave a little way back for the ones who still return. return. I washed the bowls beside you before I left that night. The key stayed on the counter and the hallway stayed alive.
It's 7:35. I save the final page. Another message landed as I was leaving for the day. My hand was on the mouse. The old reply was there. I'll handle it before I go, like I had always said. Then I looked around the office at the rows of empty chairs, closed the message without answering, and stood up from there. I left before the lights went out, and nothing fell apart. The building kept on standing without the extra hour. I left before the lights went out, with work still on my mind, but every step beyond the doors gave something back to me. I called my older sister while walking toward the train. She said, I thought you disappeared, then laughed and said my name. We spoke about her garden, the shoes she planned to buy. By the time we said goodbye, the air felt open and alive. I left before the lights went out, and nothing fell apart. The messages kept waiting, they never chased me home. I left before the lights went out, the evening still was mine. I bought the bread I always missed and took my time in line. I used to wear exhaustion like proof that I belonged, as if the hours I surrendered could show how hard I'd worked. But no one asked to see me become smaller every day, so I let one task stay unfinished and carried myself away. I left before the lights went out and watched the sky turn deep. I reached my room with enough of me to cook, to call, to breathe. I left before the lights went out. Tomorrow still will come, but work can wait inside those walls. And working hours are done. I left before the lights went out. No victory, no doubt, just one ordinary evening. I finally walked out. The next train came slowly. I didn't mind the wait. The office lights were somewhere else, and I was on my way.
I opened the old keyboard case, looking for a cable. A folded sheet of paper was waiting underneath. Your handwriting filled the margins, my chords were down the side. The final verse was empty, like we had run out of time. I played the first progression, my hands still knew the way, then heard your younger voice inside the words we used to say. We never finished that song, we left the last page bare, a melody without an ending, still waiting for us there. We never finished that song, but it never disappeared. All the years we didn't speak were resting in my ear. We thought we needed answers before we turned 25. You wanted somewhere quieter, I wanted a different life. No argument divided us, no promise came undone. We simply stopped rehearsing and slowly stopped showing up. We never finished that song, we left the last page bare, a melody without an ending, still waiting for us there. We never finished that song, and maybe that was kind. It kept one door from closing in a distant part of time. I took a photograph and sent it without a speech, just the page, the faded pencil, and the line we couldn't reach. And now we're passed in silence, then your answer filled the screen. I remember every chorus, do you still have the key? We never finished that song, but now we know where to start. Not where we left the music, but where we are in our hearts. We never finished that song, we don't need to make it new. Leave the cracks inside the verses, let the years come singing through. We never finished that song, maybe someday we still might. You wrote, keep the final page open, I left it there that night. I played the first progression, then added one new chord. The ending wasn't ready, but it wasn't lost anymore.
My first December in the city, I knew 3 streets by name. The people at the office still pronounce mine the wrong way. You asked about my weekend, I said I'll probably rest. You heard the empty answer hiding underneath my breath. You made room for me at a table full of names I had never heard before, and stories I could barely follow. You made room for me, put another plate beside you. I arrived there as a stranger, but I didn't leave that way. father burned the carrots. Your sister talked too fast. Someone found an old guitar with only 5 strings left. No one asked me for a reason why I had nowhere else to go. You simply passed the bread and let the evening take me in. I thought belonging happened after years of being known. You showed me it could start with someone moving one chair over. You made room for me at a table full of laughter. I was quiet at the beginning, then forgot to watch the time. You made room for me, put another plate beside you. I arrived there feeling distant, but I left a little lighter. Now another winter evening, a new face stands alone, holding tightly to a paper cup and looking at the door. I recognize the silence, I remember what you did. So I move my coat beside me and ask them where they've been. You made room for me. Now I'm passing on the kindness. There is always space for someone when we choose to let them in. You made room for me, more than you could ever know. One chair became a welcome.
Your hands were taking longer with the night beneath your chin. We stood inside the bedroom before my sister's wedding. You faced the narrow mirror and tried the tie again. You laughed and blamed the fabric, said the silk was far too thin. But I could see your fingers didn't move the way they did. I remembered every morning you stood behind me there, making small adjustments before I left the house. So I stepped a little closer and reached toward the line. You started to refuse me, then I said it with a smile. Let me tie it this time. You have done it all my life. You taught these hands their patience. You showed these feet their stride. Let me tie it this time. There is nothing you must hide. You once made me ready for the world. Let me stand here by your side. You lifted up your collar and finally let me try. I crossed the ends together the way you taught me twice. You told me not too tightly, then corrected my first fault. For just a little moment, we were younger than we looked. Let me tie it this time. You have done it all my life. You taught me how to care. how to trade their place. Not a child and not an old man, just two lives inside one frame. You looked down at the knot, then placed your hand on mine and said, your sister's waiting. But your eyes stayed there a while. Let me tie it this time. It sits better when you breathe. You don't have to be the steady one every moment that we meet. Let me tie it this time. You can lean a little light. You once made me ready for the world. I will help you face this night. Let me tie it this time. Then we'll walk out side by side. No one has to lose their place for love to change its shape with time. I folded down your collar, you straightened mine once more. Then we left the room together, like we had years before.
Message came at noon. I read it standing still. They offered me the position on the floor above the hill. My hands began to tremble. I nearly called you then, but something made me close the screen and read the words again. I answered all the questions, smiled through the afternoon, but kept one little happiness unopened just for you. I saved the news for you. I wanted you to see the moment all the waiting finally loosened inside me. I saved the news for you, not for anyone online. Some joy feels more like home when it reaches your eyes. You came in after 9 with your collar folded wrong. You started telling me about the train that took too long. I tried to let you finish, but laughter gave me away. You stopped beside the kitchen chair and asked what happened today. I saved the good news for you. I wanted you to see the moment all the waiting finally loosened inside me. I saved the good news for you and held it through the day, because the way you say I knew it means more than public praise. You didn't make a speech, you pulled me close instead, then opened up the cupboard and found 2 glasses there. We raised them full of water because that was all we had. You said to every morning you kept going when it hurt. I saved the good news for you. Now it's shining in the room, not because the words were perfect, but because I told them to you. I saved the good news for you, and you gave it back as pride. Some joy becomes much larger when it has a place to land. I saved the good news for you through every crowded hour. Now tomorrow feels less distant, and the future feels like ours. 2 glasses on the counter, a message on my phone. I saved the good news for you, and you made it feel like home.
I found a recipe inside the moving box, written on the paper from the store around the block. You never used a measure, just some of this and wait. I stood inside my new kitchen trying to translate. The onions browned too quickly, I added too much salt. But when the room grew warmer, the distance felt less far. It almost tasted like home, not exactly, but enough. A little more uncertain, a little less like us. It almost tasted like home in this unfamiliar room. For one slow Sunday evening, I was back there next to you. I sent you one small picture with the pot still on the stove. You answered, looks impressive, then asked, did you cook it low? I knew that meant I hadn't, so I turned the burner down. You called and talked me through it while I moved the spoon around. It almost tasted like home, not exactly, but enough. The flavor needed patience, the way you said it would. It almost tasted like home, and your voice filled up the room. For one slow Sunday evening, I was cooking next to you. You said write down what you changed, don't try to make mine twice. A recipe should travel and become another life. So underneath your handwriting, I added one new line. Use less salt than last time, and call home while it simmers. It almost tasted like home, but now I understand. Home was never just the flavor, it was learning from your hands. It almost tasted like home, then slowly became mine. Your words remained above it, with my notes beneath each line. It almost tasted like home. I ate beside the phone, and in this unfamiliar room, I didn't feel alone. I folded up the paper and placed it by the stove. Next Sunday I will try again and make a little home.
wore the dress you liked. You borrowed someone's car. We booked the highest table at a place across the park. Then traffic stopped completely. The clock moved past our name. You called to tell the restaurant we wouldn't make the time. I thought the night was ruined. You looked at me and laughed, then pointed to a corner store and said we still have plans. It turned out better than we planned. Paper cups inside our hands, sitting on the building steps with nowhere else to be. It turned out better than we planned. No perfect room or candlelight, just you dividing one small meal and giving more to me. We watched the borrowed car collect the dust beneath the sign. You found a plastic fork and broke it neatly into two. The wind kept moving napkins. I held them with my shoe. You raised your cup and said to plans that don't come true. It turned out better than we planned. Paper cups inside our hands. The whole evening opened up when we stopped chasing it. It turned out better than we planned. No one waiting for our seats, just you remembering the day we first decided this was love. I had wanted something flawless so the memory would stay, but every perfect detail was the first thing swept away. What I know I will remember is your jacket on my knees, and how you made a celebration from whatever we could keep. It turned out better than we planned. Nothing happened as it should. Still I would choose those concrete steps over any polished room. It turned out better than we planned. You took the ruined parts and placed them in a different light until they felt like ours. It turned out better than we planned. Not because the night was grand, but every time the plan fell through, you reached and took my hand. The restaurant was closing as we finally drove away. We missed the night we planned for and found a better day.
You sat beside me, still wearing your work clothes. So give me just a minute, there's something you should know. You started with the meeting and someone changing plans, and stopped between two details with your cheek against my hand. The television flickered, the room became a shade. I waited for the next word, then heard your breathing change. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I let the ending wait. Whatever felt so urgent could meet us with the day. You fell asleep mid-sentence, still holding half my hand. I pulled the blanket over you and tried to understand. Your phone lit up beside us, I turned the screen away. The world could keep on asking, but you had done enough today. I moved the cup from near you and loosened both your shoes. The little things you always did, were mine to do for you. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I let the ending wait. Whatever needed fixing could meet us with the day. You fell asleep mid-sentence, your voice became a sigh. I pulled the blanket over you and lowered every light. Maybe you were gonna tell me that the day had been too much. Maybe there was nothing deeper, you were simply giving up. Not on us and not tomorrow, only on staying awake. So I kept the room around you quiet enough to feel safe. You fell asleep mid-sentence, I never heard the end. But love is sometimes listening to words that aren't being said. You fell asleep mid-sentence, still holding half my hand. You didn't have to finish for me to understand. You fell asleep mid-sentence, tomorrow you can start. Tonight I'll keep the silence and let it hold your heart. The room stayed softly breathing, your hand remained in mine. The sentence could stay open, we had another night.
It slipped from an old album and landed by my feet. A summer afternoon from almost 10 years back. Everyone was laughing, I was standing near the edge. I remembered how I hated the way I looked that day. So I kept the picture hidden and turned the page away. But now I saw my mother's hand resting on my shoulder, and the friend I haven't spoken to leaning in much closer. I put the picture back, I let that younger face be seen. She was never asking to be perfect, she was only 17. I put the picture back and looked beyond the things I lacked. There was so much love around me, so I put the picture back. My dress was slightly wrinkled, my hair moved in the wind. I had been trying not to smile, but joy was getting in. Behind us someone dropped a plate, we all began to laugh. The moment wasn't beautiful because of how I looked. I put the picture back, I let that younger face be seen. She was trying to be worthy of a love she already had. I put the picture back and stopped correcting every flaw. There was so much life inside it I had never seen before. I could have told her, you don't need to keep criticizing here. I cannot change that summer or give her kinder eyes, but I can hold the memory without putting her aside. I put the picture back inside the frame beside my bed, not to mourn the years behind me, but to welcome who I was. I put the picture back and something in me settled down. I had spent so long rejecting someone worthy all along. I put the picture back, no longer hidden, no longer turned. I gave my younger self a place and felt the whole room warm. The album closed gently, the frame stayed where it stood. I looked at her once longer and finally called her good. No need to change the moment, no need to take it back. I turned the smaller light off and left the picture there.